Body slam a stud day. What are we talking about here? Why are we making a fake day to justify putting hands on women?
If you guys don't know, a few days ago on TikTok, there was a phrase called body slam a stud day. And so everybody making videos about this, making content about this. And so people, most people are looking at it as a joke, but then people are taking this actually serious. And this is one of the dudes out there that doesn't like this sort of content.
Some dudes is thrown off, so they really might go out and do that bit. Now I get the argument of they dress like men, want to be men, they can act like men, they get in fights like men. No. Just because that's somebody's preference and they swing, they still are a female but want to mess with females but appear more masculine. Let people do what they want to do. But why are we sitting here joking around about putting hands on women? Mind you, I'm not an advocate for putting hands on women. It's wild. But it's like, that junk is wild to me.
It is wild, right? I don't think guys are going to try to do this, but again, a lot of people on social media are pissed off about this, what is supposed to be known as a running joke about body slamming a stud.
And this whole body slam a stud day shows just how much these men really want to put their hands on women. Like, let's really talk about it. These men want to beat on women, like, and they're making it clear as day. One, a lot of already do that. A lot already put their hands on women that aren't studs. But now they just using it as an excuse like, oh, you want to dress like a boy, you can get beat up like a boy. Bro, then I seen this nigga Mark. I don't even want to talk about him because he be stitching everybody. But this nigga Mark gonna post a clip of a stud, you know, flexing. She was in the gym showing her muscles or whatever. Like, basically talking about some, like, I'm not getting body slammed. Then Mark gonna stitch it like with his muscles talking about just be a lady. You not a man? Like, I'm so confused where this whole men comparing themselves to studs is coming from. Like, this actually crazy. Like, bro, of course you're fit. Of course you're 6 foot. Of course you have muscles. You're literally a dude. You're literally pumped with testosterone. You literally, you're supposed to be fit. Like, let's really talk about it. But this is really scary to see. And it's like, there's a lot of jumping on the bandwagon. Like, oh yeah, like body slam a stud day. Like, okay. And then they want to revert back and be like, oh, it's just jokes. How is it just a joke for you to joke about putting your hands on a woman, no matter what they look like? It's like a scream, we're 2025, everybody's all inclusive, nobody cares about what you're doing, but at the end of the day, there's always going to be a set of stud and be like, oh, you want to be a boy. And now I really don't think that it's you want to be a boy, because it's like, if you want to be a boy, why do y'all want to prove so hard that y'all are manly and we're not? We don't want to be men. We've been screaming this. You guys are the ones putting it on us that we want to be men. We don't want to be men. That's how they want to dress now. This shit is so frustrating, because it's like, I'll be damned if body slam me. That shit is actually crazy.
So they was getting on her in the comments, all right? So this person says, so now you ain't a real ninja no more. What happened? Nate goes equality. Handsome guy goes men up. Nori goes, oh brother, it's a joke. Dane 2 times go, it ain't that deep, my brother. So on one end, it's like the studs in the relationships are taking on manly or masculine characteristics. All right. And, you know, this is what I've heard, and this is what some statistics prove, that domestic or DV between, you know, gay women is higher than what it is between men and women. And so now that guys are saying, listen, we just joking around with you, but when you want to go out there and be the stud in a relationship, you acting like you us. And then is it you putting your hands on your woman? And so now you're saying that, you know, that somebody is joking, that all of a sudden now you're a woman again. I mean, the arguments are getting a little bit crazy here.
I'm gonna explain the body slam a stud thing one more time for y'all, okay? First of all, I want to preface this by saying the joke is not violence against women. That's not the joke. That's not why it's funny. That's not it, all right? First and foremost, the reason why it's a joke or it's funny is because it's simply an absurd thing to say. That's the whole joke. It's just an absurd thing. I mean, me personally, I don't find this funny, but it's the same reason why people would find it entertaining if someone just ran in the middle of public and just started dumping milk on themselves or something. It's just an absurd thing, right? Secondly, the second half of the joke that makes it funny is not the joke itself. It's the response that the one stud made where it was like body slamming stud and then she was like posing in the mirror all like acting like swole and stuff, right? The reason why that's funny is because studs forget that they are still women and they're not beating the average man. It's just not happening. You're not going to do that. The average woman cannot contest or contend with the average man. For someone to come and say, oh, so you're advocating against violence against women? No, I'm saying you don't stand a chance. That's what I'm saying. Like, listen. Like I said in the other video, a high school football player is molly-whopping any stud. I'm sorry to tell you.
A lot of high school football players is mopping grown men too while you're playing. So I get this point.
Said that women forget that gay men are still men. You're not boxing Saucy Santana and walking away. It's not happening for you. I'm sorry. I don't know why that's a crazy thing to say. I simply can't understand why that's a crazy thing to say.
Okay, I get what the guy's point is. It is an absurd joke, right? I have yet to hear of any incidents of somebody walking up and body slamming a stud at all. I haven't heard that. But at the same time, we don't live in a generation where jokes like these are going to be okay with men. We okay with any kind of jokes in any kind of generation, especially like when I was coming up in the 90s and the 80s. It was open season with, gay jokes and racist jokes. And you would even see them in the 80s on Saturday Night Live between blacks and whites. It was okay. We live in a sensitive generation now. And so saying something like that is, oh my God, this is a real threat. This is something that's real. And on either side, and you got dudes defending it and women defending it. It's just, like I said, it's some sick joke that dudes is running with, but you can't say that in 2025 and think that, oh, it's a joke because of the times that we live in. In 2000, and again, I'm not saying it was ever right to say something like that, right? But in 2000, 1990, somebody would know, all right, this is something they just saying. They're just being stupid or whatever. But today, that ain't how we living. We living in a world that is very sensitive.
I'm not gonna lie, the beef between straight males and studs have to be studied. I done seen 5 to 10 videos of studs and males going back and forth. Back and forth, back and forth. I'm talking about somebody made a video saying, all right, today body slam a stud day. I scroll again, I see the dude saying, all right, today's body slam a stud day. And now it's a stud, swole as hell. I'm talking about she's swole. And she like, body slam who? Like, she basically making a video. Everybody in the comments like cooking her. You feel me? Then I scroll past, and it's a girl talking about, men always want to try to put their hands on women. Men are so messy. And then the studs and the men were in the comments fighting. When has this generational beef occurred? I don't got no problems with no studs or nothing, but like, I don't know what happened these past couple years that has made studs and men beef. Like, this is like crazy beef too. It's like, and it might sometimes, it started off as a joke, I think, but it's starting to get a little serious.
Let me just say this, right? When it comes to the beef between studs and women, it's always been there. I happen to know like a young lady who's gay. Her name was Michelle. She went to Sacramento State University with me. Cool lady, she was straight. And not straight, I mean she was cool, but she was gay. And whenever she would deal with women, she would be like very protective of these women. Like, and if it came to the man, now listen, this is crazy, right? The men she was kind of like really jealous of, like didn't want her girls looking at women if they would go out. And she didn't want the men making any kind of contact with her. Like a man, if we have a girlfriend or whatever, woman, whatever, we're not thinking about stuff like that. It's like, if you looking at somebody, okay, whatever, but we're not going out of our way to be like holding your hands the whole time. You can't move around. You can't do this and that. And I saw that with her and some of her other friends. It seemed like they were very, very suspicious of men. And like, it would get really, really crazy if they found out that their girls were being attracted to men, their girls were talking to men, their girls were texting men. It would be crazy. Like, if you found out your girl was talking to another dude, it would hurt, right? But imagine you are a stud female and you find out that your girl is talking to a dude. It hurt even more, right? As far as what I've seen before, studs typically are very suspicious of men, right? And for whatever reason that could be.
Okay, so there's this TikTok going around that's basically saying body slam, a stud day, something stupid. And a guy posted it, and I just find it really funny because it's just like, okay, you're gonna start a fight with a woman. So if you lose that fight, it's gonna be emasculating as hell. And then if you win, you just beat on a woman. So like, why even do something like that? It's like, it's giving kind of like jealousy instead of like, I don't know, emulating them. Is it because maybe they, I don't know, present masculinity better than you, not toxic and whatnot? So yeah, that's probably what it is. So don't hate, emulate, and don't be beat.
So men should start emulating studs? You know what?
And don't be beating on studs, because you will get embarrassed. Especially you. You seem like a pretty thin dude. So, I don't know. Probably hit the gym a little before you get that confidence. I know a lot of studs are pretty buff and they know how to fight. And they carry more than just straps in that backpack. Just saying. Anyway, peace.
There was a guy that made a video, like, not just straps, but strap-ons, right? First of all, here's the problem with the joke. And men gotta understand this. Women are still women, okay? So just because you make a joke about body slamming a stud, they can always go back and say, I'm a woman. Like, I got the, even though I'm a gay woman, I'm a woman. Like, I'm in a protected group. Like, why are you guys joking with me like that, right? This is violence against women. And they're absolutely right, okay? It's no different than any other protected group, whether it be, the black community, the Asian community, whatever like that. A person can always go back and come back and say, I'm in this protected group, all right? And so we gotta be mindful of that when you're making jokes in this day and time. If you're a person that says something like that and you have a job, you get fired, okay? And then it's just a joke, but all of a sudden now you're not hireable by anybody. You hate gays or something like that. And again, like, we gotta just be mindful, like, of what's going on. Body slamming a stud or a body slam or whatever. This is not the 90s where you can make jokes and people just know that they're jokes and you're not serious. Somebody's gonna go ahead and start calling you your job, start calling you whatever. And it's just not worth it, man. Like, leave them people alone. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just leave them alone, family. I know y'all want to, make jokes with them or stuff like that, and go back and forth with them in the comments, and it's all, for some people, fun and games. But no, man, people are not gonna take it seriously, man. They're gonna get advocacy and all kind of stuff, and so I hope guys understand what the play is. If you happen to join that trend and say, I'm gonna just do this and I'm just kidding, then by that time it's too late. But guys, what do you think? Is the beef between straight men and straight women getting worse? Let me know. We out.